Hello, friends. How is everyone doing this beautiful Sunday? You can probably see I'm here by myself. I've got a couple cats roaming around. Maybe they'll pop up. Um, but I want to thank everyone for being here today. As you can see, my lovely co host Mars isn't here today. Not feeling 100%, which is totally understandable. If you were in the chat, Mars, hello, good morning, and I love you. I hope you're doing well. Um, but it's probably going to be a little bit of a quick show, maybe a little less rowdy since it's just me kind of doing this solo. But really happy to be here and really happy to talk some comics. I am going to go ahead and since Mars isn't here, I'm just going to go ahead and put her link in the chat. I would love if anyone who is not already subscribed to Mars, go and subscribe to her channel. It's right there. It's right there in the chat. You should be able to go and say hello to her. But hope everyone else is doing well. I'm going to scroll through the chat this morning and say hello. First of all, I'm going to say hello to Captain Comics, ahoy, and then hello to Fable. Good morning. How are you doing today, friend? And then let's go ahead and see. And then we've got Eric. Hello, Eric. Thank you for being here. Ooh, and Sleepy Reader. Good morning. Looking forward to my favorite Sunday comic book characters. Your favorite one, Mars, isn't here today, but that's okay. I'm here to maybe I can, I don't know, see what other comic book creators we can accuse of liking the smell of their own farts. It's just not as fun without her here, but I'll try to be here to entertain y'all. And then good morning to Kirby. Looking forward to saying hello to everyone else as you hop in the chat. Aggressively reading. Good morning. As everyone can see, I'm down a co-host this morning, but that's okay. Just wasn't feeling 100%, so I'm here to talk about comics this morning. I don't know about all of you, but I got a lot of things. Did I read all of them? I mean, no, of course not, but I'll go ahead and talk about the ones that I did read. Or you know what? Let me go ahead and pull out the ones that I didn't read, and we'll talk about those ones first. All right, let's see here. Okay, those are the ones that I did read. These ones over here are the ones that I haven't had a chance to read yet. But I got Black Knight, Curse of the Ebony Blade. I know nothing about this character whatsoever, like other than just kind of show up in every now and then. But I actually really enjoyed this new series, so been given that a read. Oh, hello. Hello, Copy 801. Very nice morning. Very good to see you. Bookish Realm. Good morning. Thank you for being here, friend. Oh, and then hello to my friend Chris. Chris, I think that your Kickstarter is still going on. I'm not sure if you have a wrench. If you are able to drop a link. Oh, let's go ahead and see if I can do this. Give me 1 second, friends. Okay. I think I just added you as a Chris. I just added you as a moderator, which means you can drop links. If you want to go ahead and drop a link to your Kickstarter, yeah, go ahead and do that. If you want to go ahead and drop a link, if you can. Um, I also picked up Shang-Chi because of the new show coming out. Once again, another character that I have no clue, don't really have much of a knowledge about, but curious to see where it's going to go, at least with the new series, and maybe see if I can go back to another one. Okay. Another one that I picked up, The Girl Who Electrified Tesla. This one I was kind of on, like, a little bit on the fence about. It was good. Wasn't sure if I liked it or wasn't sure if I loved it. But it was still at least entertaining, and there was a lot of historical stuff in it, which I'm a total nerd for historical stuff. So excited to read issue 2 of that. There was also a Dan Waters cover for issue 1. I don't recall if there was a variant cover, but I only picked up one cover. Hello, Darth Timo. Thank you so much for being here. Morning, Jen and chat. Hope everyone's Sunday is chill. Hello to Serge. Hello to Ace. And hello to TC Jowdry. I know I said it earlier, but we're down a co-host this morning. Mars wasn't feeling 100%, so definitely took the day off, which is definitely needed. Beautiful. Okay, so my friend Chris did go ahead and post a link to his Kickstarter. If you watched my interview with him where we talked about Vlada, a Dracula tale, really fun, like gender bent Dracula story. This is the Kickstarter for the audiobook, so definitely go ahead and check it out if you can. Okay. I'm also really excited for this one, The Immortal Hulk Time of Monsters. There's been a couple of Hulk one-shots recently, and the other one, I forget what it was called, but it was pretty good. So excited to read that. Sleeping Beauties #6. I feel like this one wasn't really talked about, but there's this like disease that comes through and only hits women. Um, Something to do with Stephen King is doing it, but it was pretty enjoyable. Oh my goodness, the reflection and the glare there. But this one was pretty cool. So I really enjoyed that. I'm sorry if I get like really close, if you can see my eyes as I'm reading this. Oh, hello. Hello. This isn't a Red Room, Jen, is it? What are you talking about, like Red Room? Are you talking about Red Room, the comic book that came out? I have thoughts about that, so we'll talk about that later. I also got Way of X #2. Everyone knows I'm an X-Men person, X person. Um, and this one was pretty interesting, featuring Nightcrawler, so getting into issue #2. And of course, I've got 2 covers for Stray Dogs. This is issue #4, and issue #3 ended with quite a cliffhanger, kind of a heartbreaker. So this one was kind of on the bottom of my pile because I'm excited to read it, but it's also, you know, sad. So wasn't gonna jump right into that one because I knew it was gonna be heavy emotionally. Um, Hello, Comic Toby. Good morning. Oh no, Mars. Yeah, wasn't feeling 100%. So, um, uh, she's not here today, so this is probably going to be pretty quick. Me talking about comics, it's probably going to be a little bit reined in. I don't know how many comic book creators I'm going to accuse of liking the smell of their own farts this morning, but I'm certainly less since she's not here. And hello to Tulp Fiction. Stray Dogs is hitting me emotionally too. Man, this book is a lot. um oh, it wrecks me every time, and I'm pretty sure issue #4 is going to do the same. So I also picked up Rangers of the Divide. Really have no clue what's going on with this, but it's a Dark Horse book, and Dark Horse has been doing some pretty good things recently. Also, prepare yourself for Stray Dogs #4. Okay. Um, Chat, let me know if you just want me to go ahead and read it live and get a live react of Stray Dogs #4. Certainly more than willing to put myself emotionally out there. Fart for greatness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So it's morning for me. I am in the West Coast. I'm on the West Coast, in the West Coast, so it's just after 9 for me. Okay. So one of the other books that I got this week, I Walk with Monsters #6. This is the last of the series, or last of the arc. Two emotionally beaten people becoming monsters, fighting monsters, trying not to become monsters. There's a lot of nuance there. And then this one, I actually have no clue what this one is, but I like to cover, and I think this is actually from 2 weeks ago. So Extraordinary by V.E. Schwab. So those are all the ones that I picked up but I haven't read. So I've got quite a nifty little stack here of books that I did already read. So we'll go ahead and get into this. It sounds like people are looking forward to maybe me doing a live read of Stray Dogs #4. We'll see. Definitely want to know who is on the fart list. I don't know if I want to do that. There's so many. There's so many creators that I'm just like liking the smell of their own farts. And here's the lovely Mars in the chat. So just pretend that Mars is here with me. Aw, I miss you so much. Okay. So some of the books that I did go ahead and read, I actually picked up. My books are all out of order. But I did go ahead and I picked up Wonder Girl. I know Mars was really excited to talk about this one, so I won't talk about it too much. But basically, Wonder Girl isn't necessarily picking up where DC Future State left off. This one's before it, I guess. But it's going more into the character of Yara Flor, who's just a beautiful baddie, and I love her so much. This issue, I will go ahead and say, to me, compared to um, Future State Yara Flor, Future State Wonder Girl, Wonder Woman, this one felt incredibly slow. But I'm saying that knowing that the with Future State, it was only 2 issues, so it had to be really fast, where this one's building. So don't go into it thinking that it's really slow, because it has to be. The ending was really fun, or at least I'm curious to see where it's going to go after this one. So Wonder Girl, #1. And this is the only one I got. I didn't get any variant covers, so weird how that happens. Wonder Girl is really good. Um, yeah, 100% with this one. I think this is a really good introduction. It's going to be much slower of a burn than DC Future State, but man, I'm excited for this. Really, really excited for it. Okay, and then of course we get Nightwing. This series is just doing so good. Nightwing in this issue is being questioned by the police. Like, where was he? A couple issues ago, maybe last issue, he helped out some people with housing needs and basically put them up in a hotel. Turns out one of them died, so he is now a suspect. And look at this cool cover. Like, when I picked this up and I was reading it, like, oh, man, it's not even doing it justice, but I feel like I want 3D glasses. Man, that fucking glare is just. Anyways, wouldn't it be cool if it used 3D glasses? This was a really good issue. Nightwing has just been absolutely murdering it. Like I said, all of these got out of order because I do have one other DC book, and that's Catwoman. This one, man, there's so many just beautiful moments with Catwoman where she's just like, look at that outfit on the front. I know that's not Ram V writing her, and it's actually uh, Blanco, but man, Catwoman's just so beautiful, and I love Ram V's writing with Catwoman. I love Joelle Jones doing Catwoman, but I really appreciate Ram V as well doing Catwoman. Let me see here. Nightwing was so good. Like, when I think of perfect book, Nightwing is that book. I 100% agree that like Nightwing is incredible, and it's doing things that I've never loved a Nightwing book, and this is making me love Nightwing. That cover is dope, right? And then Wonder Girl is gangster, and that Nightwing comic is perfect. Yeah, great week at DC for sure. To whoever likes Nightwing, read other stuff by Tom Taylor. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Let's see what else I got. Okay, so probably in contestant in the lineup to be one of my favorite books this year, Ultra Mega #3 came out. Man, this book is killing it. It's so weird and it's so wacky, and I feel like each issue kind of like skips. Don't expect Ultra Mega to be consistent linearly, because it doesn't feel that way. Maybe that's just my perception is wrong, but there's like a gladiator arena that they all end up in, and it's kind of like fight to the death. Um, and there's a kaiju museum, kaiju coliseum. Man, it's absolutely bonkers. Like, for real, this is the most bonkers book that I've read in a minute, and it's sincerely just absolutely weird and wonderful sci-fi. If you like Ultraman, kaiju, like monsters and stuff, this one's it. And the you can see from the cover, the colors are just so dynamic. Really, really enjoying this book by James Herron and Dave Stewart. So, Ultra Mega, published by Image, probably one of my favorite Image comics right now. Most people know that with Image right now, I feel like everything is hit or miss, and this is definitely one of the things that's keeping me going back to Image. So if you haven't already picked up Ultra Mega, this is issue number 3 that just came out. They are kind of supersized, and they are like $7.99, $6.99 per issue, but it packs a lot of punch. Like, you get a pretty thick issue with each one of those. So let me go ahead and check up on the chat. And I feel bad for like getting really, really close, so I'm going to try to do this on my iPad. Yeah, so da, 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 da. Yeah, it's not working. That gladiator battle was both brutal and hilarious. Like, it's weird with this sci-fi that's like this weird science fiction story that's going on, and it is like it's weird and it's wacky and it's delightful, and it's just all around a good time. All right, so Scott, I know that you had mentioned earlier Red Room. I picked this up because I've been a fan of Ed Piskor, and I had high hopes for this book, and it didn't reach it. Maybe I feel like I couldn't even describe what this book does, where it goes, what it's doing. I feel like it jumps from panel to panel, and maybe this is just me, and it deserves for me to go back, but I didn't even finish it. I started reading it, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But not in a delightful way that I'm normally like, oh, I have no clue what's going on, but I like this. Uh-oh. So I'm curious, Scott, if you liked Red Room. There was a lot of beautiful covers, a lot of beautiful variant covers for this, and this one, I don't know why, but I liked this one a lot. But didn't really love the book. Maybe if someone else liked it and you can explain this book to me, please, please do so. But I did not love this book, did not like it, couldn't finish it. So someone, like I said, please tell me, should I go back? Tell me what's going on, explain it to me, because I didn't really love it that much. The artwork is really cool, but just not my thing. That one was none of those. All right, I'm kind of sad, Mars, if you're still in the chat. I'm really sad that you're not here, because I would love to talk about Luna, but I'll go ahead and talk about it briefly. I finally feel like this issue of Luna, issue number 4, finally fucking went somewhere. And for any of you who haven't been watching and don't know what Luna is, it's basically this young woman gets dragged into like a vampire sex drug cult in the 70s, 60s, or 70s, and now she's got to go free delicious spiritual boyfriend, and everyone needs this dude's blood, and they all hate her. This one's really weird, but this one actually went somewhere, and I actually really, really, really enjoyed this issue. Oh, sorry, just lost your comment. Scott, I enjoyed it. I don't know if I could explain. You may, mileage may vary. Okay, I'll try it again. Okay, so you haven't read Luna yet. Okay, so we'll talk about this next week. But man, this one actually went somewhere. I actually enjoyed this issue. I feel like we actually kind of learned some things, and so yeah, this one sold me on the series more than anything. Was there lots of spiritual boyfriend in this issue? Not really, but we talked about spiritual boyfriend a lot, so we don't get to see him very much. There's a couple panels with beautiful, delicious spiritual boyfriend, but not too much is actually shown. And hello to my friend Justin. Thank you so much for being here. I will make sure you know I feel love, Mars. Oh, we all love you, Mars. I did this earlier. I know all of you are probably subscribed, but please go and subscribe to Mars. I just dropped the link to her YouTube channel in the chat below. So go ahead and subscribe to her channel if you have not already. Please and thank you. Alrighty. I backed this one up, even though I haven't actually read it yet. But the Storyteller Tricksters, these covers by Peach Momoko are absolutely beautiful. I picked up issues 1 and 2, haven't read them yet, but then picked up issue 3 just to make sure that I have them all. I'm pretty excited to read this because look at how beautiful those covers are. It reminds me a little bit of Norse Mythology by P. Craig Russell and Neil Gaiman that's been coming out recently. I'm so excited to actually read issue 1 and 2. Okay. It's all made up and the points don't matter. I have no clue what order I'm going in and talking about these comics, but issue number 30 of Daredevil, man, this has been such a ride. Look at how beautiful. Spoiler alert, we all know that Elektra has been taking over the Daredevil mantle, the cowl, as he has been in prison. Last week he basically got the shit beat out of him. Matt Murdock did, and so she's been out on the streets being Daredevil, so we'll see what happens. I'll be completely honest. I only started picking up Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil run on maybe issue 25 or 26. So I just actually last night, I woke up in the middle of the night, couldn't really sleep. So I started reading this series from issue 1. So maybe by next week, you'll hear my thoughts of the whole dang Chip Zdarsky Daredevil run. We'll see. We'll see how much I get through it. Let's see here. Ace says, and I assume you're obviously referring to Luna. She's my favorite creator of all time, but all of her comics suffer from bad translations. That's why I'm definitely still giving this a chance, because I know that I feel like something is lost in translation here, and that's obviously more about me reading the book. There's like a weird pacing, and I feel like this weird pacing is with a lot of her stories, but I absolutely love her artwork, so I'm just going to keep going back 100%. This one, like I said, was probably my favorite issue so far of Luna. Okay. You've been reading, so Scott, you say you've been reading Daredevil for 20 years, and this has been a pretty fun run. I'm a really big fan of Chip Zdarsky, with the exception of Stillwater that recently came out. I just couldn't stand that first issue, and the second issue wasn't better. But man, I've been loving this Daredevil run. I haven't really read too many Daredevil runs, Elektra runs, so this has been fun to get into. It seems like a very good jumping on point, which most people know, especially for new readers. I think that a good jumping on point with an established character, those are always going to be my favorites and the ones that I recommend the most. Okay, the Storyteller. So this one right here looks like the old school books from back in the day we used to read. Yeah, not like Bernstein Bears, but oh man, there's like some bear books, and I can't even remember what they are, but I feel like those are the, oh man, what's that one bear? There's a creator. I'll think of it. Maybe someone in the chat will know what I'm talking about. Okay. Lovett's Eros Psyche also reads like an early book. The English translation probably doesn't help either. I couldn't get into Eros and Psyche whatsoever. Had no clue what was going on. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, let's go ahead and, oh my goodness, I'm almost at the end of my pile. This is a really quick show, you guys. One of the next books that I have here is issue number 2, A Phantom on the Scan. Basically, there was a comet that came by, flew by Earth. A whole bunch of people ended up with powers, but now the powers are killing them, and there's a whole bunch of wacky shit going on. There's kind of like aliens, and I feel like it hasn't said it, but the like monster creatures in this book kind of remind me, if you have the joy of having sleep paralysis, like the sleep paralysis demon friend, kind of reminds me of that. Colin Bunn is just one of those weird writers, sometimes hit, sometimes miss. This one I'm really, really liking, and I'm really curious to see where it goes. It's also done by Aftershock, which I think Aftershock is doing some really, really good things right now. So really excited to read more into that. I definitely think Phantom on the Scan, once it's all collected, is going to be a really good book. I think there's a lot of contenders for like my favorite books of the year so far. This one might be one of them, depending on how the next couple of issues go, since we're only on issue 2. Okay. Now, I'm going to say this very, very lightly, and I know I'm going to offend some people, and I know that there's going to be some people who are like, Jennifer, you like basically named your channel after a Jack Kirby quote. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. I fucking hate Fantastic Four. I hate Fantastic Four so much, at least the original Fantastic Four. Could never get into it. Just don't like it. Every issue that I've ever read, I hate. That being said, I really, 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 really enjoyed Fantastic Four Life Story. A couple years ago, they basically did the same thing with Spider-Man, where they go through the decades. So you see 60s, 70s, 80s with Spider-Man, and they're given the Fantastic Four the same treatment. And this one is really, this one just, it did it for me a lot. It gave a really good origin story. I feel like they actually got the character of Sue Storm correct. With Sue, I feel like they just always treated her as like this dumb throwaway character, and in here she's definitely got a lot more nuance. And it's very curious to me reading Fantastic Four life story, because right now they're in the 60s, and obviously there is a lot of social unrest, political demonstrations, and this is going through that. So it's basically seeing them and what's going on with them. They want to go into space. Reed Richards is also let me kind of go back a little bit. I'm rambling, and I apologize for that just a little bit. So basically, they go ahead and they go into space. They end up on an like a spaceship, go into space, and then the fuel that they're using wasn't tested. So then weird shit starts happening. Reed Richards end up seeing Galactus, but wasn't really sure what he's seeing. He wasn't sure if he hallucinated it, but he's really sure that he saw Galactus, and he's like, oh shit, Galactus is going to come to Earth and, um, you know, eat everybody. He's going to murder everybody. It's a big old space demon, is what they refer to Galactus. And people don't really believe him. There's the like science nerd in me that starts talking about the Fermi paradox and why we haven't seen aliens, and he basically says, well, once we see aliens it's too late. And that's kind of how he's feeling about Galactus, because once you know Galactus is here, and once Galactus knows that you are here, you're doomed, you're fucked. So this is really, really interesting. I'm very curious to see where the next one goes, and we'll obviously be in the 70s. So let me go ahead and read some comments about how much everyone hates me for actually not liking Fantastic Four. Paddington Bear, yeah, sorry, we're talking about the Storyteller's book. Corduroy Bear, yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Definitely agree that Sue has often been treated poorly. I did a podcast, Marvel by the Month, and we talked about an issue of Fantastic Four where everyone else is basically off having fun, beating up bad guys, and Sue Storm is at home, and she's like, what should I call this little baby boy? Oh, my husband would be so much better at these things. That's literally like her only line in the book, and I hated it. While I haven't read them, I love the concept of life story for both FF and Spider-Man. I really hope that they do it for all of them. Like, man, if they did this for, I think it'd be very, very fun if they did it for X-Men. So we'll see. We've got planet-sized X-Men coming up in a couple weeks. I need to read John Byrne's run on FF. He made Sue a genuine person. I'm probably at some point going to tackle, like, I'm just going to read from start to finish. Right now, I'm trying to do that with X-Men, and it's murdering me, so we'll see if one day I actually do that with Fantastic Four. Okay, and then hello to Comic Man Andy. Thank you so much for being here. Cool. So that was my review on Fantastic Four Life Story. If you get a chance, pick it up. I heard such great things about Spider-Man Life Story. Didn't pick it up, and I'm really kicking myself in the butt for that. So, as someone who doesn't like Fantastic Four, I actually really liked this, so I would highly recommend picking it up. And last but certainly not least, it's last but literally my like most favorite of the week. You all know The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. We've got these beautiful like full foily covers, and they just don't translate well on there, so I'm just gonna hold up this one. This book just, it gets so good. It's so beautiful. In I know I've said it before, Rombi is one of my favorite writers. The Many Deaths of Layla Starr is turning out to be one of my favorite books for the year. It's seriously only on issue 2, and it's already one of my favorite books of the year. In the first issue, we basically learn that the goddess of death is getting fired from her job. And the reason why she's getting fired is because the young boy who's going to cure mortality or invent immortality is being born. So she ends up getting kind of like a last chance, going to Earth, inhabits a body, and wants to kill Darius is the boy's name, who's going to cure mortality, is going to cure death. And then in this issue, she basically gets to walk alongside Darius as this story is being told. And someone please correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like it's kind of delving into the caste system of India, where there's just some people that you just don't talk to. But someone who was beneath his caste, Darius, the young boy who cures mortality, someone in his past who was maybe in a lower caste system, who was very influential, ends up dying. They go to his funeral, and man, just the conversation that's being had in this book blows me away. I love this book so much. The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. I know I've said it before, but I literally need everyone to read this book. Please and thank you. Please read this book. It's a lot of fun. It's a Boom Studios book, which once in future something is killing the children, those books are like $600 now for issue 1, so just go ahead and pick this up. That's pretty much all of the like single issue books that I have to talk about today. Oh, I accidentally grabbed Jupiter's Legacy, sorry about that. Those are all the books that I have to talk about today. Anybody else have anything for me? Otherwise I'll go ahead and, like I said, really it only took me 30 minutes and I haven't talked about Dune or Star Trek or Swamp Thing. So that's pretty much everything that I've got for all of you. One more time, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop Mars's channel in the comments. She's not here with me today, wasn't feeling 100%, so just decided to have an easy Sunday. But we hope to be back here, talk about, we'll probably dive into all of these books. We'll go ahead and do a monthly recap. We'll also probably do a previews preview where we'll talk about all of the new things that previews announced. One of the other new things that I want to take a moment to talk about is the way that you get your books from your local comic book store. Typically, you either go to your comic book store, there's an app you can use called a Comics Hub that I use. But what Previews is going to do, apparently later in June, what they're going to do is Previews, which is the book that comic book shops show you everything that's going to be available coming out soon. Previews is now going to give consumers the option, like, I don't know if it's going to be an app or just the website, but they're basically going to say, go to the website, order your books. This lets your comic shop know what you want, and you can order a little bit more directly. I'm really excited about this. I'm sure my local comic book store is really excited about this because I'm probably about to drop even more stupid money on comic books now that this is going to be a thing. So maybe whenever that gets rolled out, Mars and I can go ahead and talk about how to use this. I know that we're both going to become experts as soon as this comes out. Um, I have a couple of things coming up this week and next week. We on Comic Chop News, it's my pick for the month of June, and I chose the book Genderqueer to talk about for Pride Month. So, really excited to talk about that. Um, Also got the chance to read Chicacabra by Tom Bland, which was such a beautiful book. Really glad that I got to read that and get some insight from the creator, the author, writer about that. I'll be talking about Lady Killer, so I'll go ahead and post the link on my Instagram whenever that comes out. But otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful, lovely Sunday. One more time, I'm going to go drop Mars's link in the chat. I need everyone to go and subscribe to her channel. I hope everyone has a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye, friends.